My family and I moved to Detroit almost 3 years ago, and it's been about 3 years since I posted any videos to YouTube. When I first started this YouTube journey, I told myself I wanted to post every week at the minimum. Needless to say, that has not happened. Now, to get back in the swing of things and to start posting more videos, I've decided to do a mini-series on the renovation of my basement. My wife and I, we bought this house back in 2022 when we first moved here. One of the first things I said I wanted to do was to finish the basement. When we moved in, it was an unfinished basement, but it had lots of great space and lots of great storage. One of the things I wanted to do the most was to build a utility closet, boxing in the hot water heater and the furnace. After the first 2 years quickly flew by, we realized that we were running out of time and we wouldn't be here in Detroit much longer. With that realization, I decided to get started on my basement renovation. I'm Brandon Poller, and this is my social experiment.
Okay, so I've lost you guys, sorry. Didn't get the video as much as I wanted to. I was on a time crunch. Kinda am again because I rented the same tool again, as you can see right there. So putting this second wall in because I figured why not? Just want to go ahead and knock it out, get it all done. So I did. At one point, I was debating on whether or not to move the water heater. I decided to keep it there. If I ever decide to move it, so be it. But I'll have a big enough utility closet for it. Still leaves a decent amount of space over there. Have a little lounge area, and we'll focus on that later. But sitting here, I have this 8-foot nailed in. I'm gonna cut this and essentially just mimic what's over there, right here. And yeah, so finishing putting up I got these at Home Depot, pressure treated. So putting the pressure treated up, and then yeah, we'll be off to the races. What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it. This is day 2 of the basement project. I just think I'm at a good stopping point where I want to show some of the mistakes that I've made along the way, because again, this is really my first construction project, or wood project, I guess you want to call it, I don't know, that I've done this big. So I'm by no means an expert. This is really just trial and error. I'm really kind of winging it, so as I'm going, I'm learning things. But let's hop into it real quick. First thing, I showed you all the power tool, or the impact gun I used. Borrowed it or rented it from Home Depot. This is a great tool. It worked, or I can see where it would work. It didn't work the best in my case. For example, I am nailing this beam, or nailing this stud into the beam, this top plate, and they were, I want to say, 4-inch nails, and as you can see, it didn't go through. Mind you, with these nails, I was using the yellow strip, which is the medium gunpowder. So they didn't go all the way through for the steel, which I wasn't really sure. I don't know if it was the power or if it was the nail just not being strong enough. So that's mistake number 1, I guess, lesson. We'll call that a lesson number 1. Same with the wall here. It didn't, let me see if I can show you guys. So yeah, it didn't fully go through. It anchored a little bit. This is still wet, interesting. It anchored a little bit, but I guess down here's a better example. You see how that's still kind of sticking out. Not flush like I wanted it to be, but kind of expected it. Again, same can be said for the floors. I did have a few good ones that went in pretty flush versus, you see the difference? So I had a few of those. Again, just a lesson learned. Next time, if I want it to be super secure, which it is very secure, I wouldn't move on if I didn't trust it. I'm shaking that pretty good. So just a lesson learned. I probably would screw it and then drill, and then tap it, or whatever the process is. So lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, just because of the way I was framing it, I tried my best to cut these to the T. And you see here, I had a slight gap, sorry. Here I had a slight gap, so there is, all right, so I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit of play with that. I don't like it, I don't love it. I may go back and tap that, straighten it up myself. All right, so lesson number 2. When I was cutting a few of these boards, my measurements just weren't the best. They were off on a few. So this one being one of them. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some play in there. A few of the other ones, they always seem to be the studs, or the studs that are the most prominent. I don't know. Anyway, so I cut this one kind of short, and so it's got a screw and job, but it is, I wouldn't secure it. It's got a little bit of play, but it's not from the screws. Lesson number 3. I guess I wasn't too thrilled about the framing, just this part right here. Like, it's in there. Oh, this was another one that wasn't fully in there. And so yeah, just a few lessons that I've learned along the way. I'm not gonna let it stop me. Just gonna keep on pushing through. I'm sure like they're somewhat minor, and I don't believe I'm gonna have an inspector come down here and inspect it anytime soon. We'll have the house for a little while. When we do sell, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I don't think any of these mistakes are like project ending mistakes. I can just keep pushing forward. And by the end of it, it'll be a nice finished product that I think I will like, and I'll be happy with. So I'm not too upset with it. I am excited and ready to just go ahead and get it done. So yeah, we're gonna keep pushing forward. See you.